Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I asked my Instagram followers to send me some questions so I can do a Q&A, kind of sit down with you guys. You guys get to know me a little bit better, and there's some pretty interesting questions. So if you want to keep watching, then let's get into it.
Oh my, what a wonderful time. Been a minute since I pulled up outside.
Okay, so the first question is your biggest pet peeve. Now, my biggest pet peeve is probably when you're walking, let's just say you're walking steady pace and everything, and someone walking in front of you is just going really slow, and then all of a sudden they just stop. I hate that because you're literally running into them. I feel like this mainly happens at Disneyland or any type of amusement park or something. You're just, next thing you know, you're walking and then someone stops in front of you, you stop, and then you get ran over by a stroller. Yeah, that's happened to me a few times. Okay, so the next question is your biggest turn on. Now for me, I probably say when guys have tattoos and rings. Especially if they have one sleeve. And then they wear a bunch of rings. It's just, damn. So the next question is the scariest thing that's ever happened to you. So the scariest thing that's ever happened to me was probably about a year ago. I remember it was prom season. Me and my friend wanted to start going on runs every day after school because we wanted to just slim down a little bit for our dresses. And so this trail that we would always go on, it's a dirt road trail, and right next to it is a little forest that has creeks and stuff. And so we were walking one day and we had just finished the end of it, because you can finish the end of the trail and then there's an off-roading type thing that you go through the forest, and it's kind of like a little bigger than a trail, so kind of like a road, because there's houses back there, but they're far away from the trail. And so we had just finished the trail and we saw a car and it was blocking the exit. And I told her, I was like, dude, why is there a car here? This isn't even the main parking lot. There's a little parking lot at the end where we were, and then there's the main parking lot where everyone parks. And it was at the beginning. And then I was like, why is there a car? And it's just there blocking the exit. And she's like, nah, it's nothing to worry about. So they were going out of the parking lot into this, it's kind of into the dirt road. And they made a U-turn and they came back. And I told her, I was like, I don't feel comfortable. Let's walk back. And so we started walking back. The second we turned around to walk back, the car made another U-turn and left. And I was like, that's sus. You don't just make two U-turns back to back. What, go back in, go out. And it was no, the second that they saw that we were walking back, they left. They went out the road that's not the main road. The main road is probably a 20-30 minute walk from where we were at. So we waited 10 minutes, and then we didn't really want to go the same way. We wanted a change of scenery, and which is kind of bad on our part because that wasn't the main trail. And we were okay, 10 minutes had gone by, and she was I want to check to see if they actually left. And so we walk over and we kind of peek our heads, and we didn't see any car, and we're okay, we're fine, let's continue. So we were probably walking for about 15 minutes, and I guess we went on top of a hill. And then my friend, I just remember her freaking out, and she was Kristen, the car. And I was like, what do you mean the car? And she's like, turn around. And I turn around, and you could literally see the top of the car. I said it was a white car. All you can see is the hood, and it was white. And I was like, is that the car? And she's like, I think it's the car. And so we're freaking out. The next thing I know, she freaking throws me in a bush. And then we're we need to hide. there's nowhere for us to go. And so we're hiding in this bush, and then the car drives past us, and they keep going, and we're okay, thank gosh. They kept going. Maybe they thought we finished walking. And so we're okay, we're fine, we're good. And then we're okay, let's wait here for a little bit. They're basically off-roading at this point. And we're okay, hopefully they'll get to the point where they're on the main road and they'll just leave. And so we wait there for another 10-15 minutes. We're okay, we need to leave. At this point it's gonna be dark soon, and then it's gonna be even more scary. And so we start walking again, but obviously we're more cautious. And then there's So it like splits. So it's kind of a dirt road, and then there's the forest, and then there's like a tiny little opening. And when we were walking, the car was literally parked there in that little opening. And I was freaking out at that point. I was like, what are we gonna do? Like, we need to start like thinking. And the car started up and started to come back, and it parked right where we were. So I don't know if it saw us or not, but it did. But they didn't try to do anything. And I was trying to like look in the car, and I just saw like two shadows, but like that's the best I can see because the windows were tinted all around, and it was like a dark tint. And so I was like we're freaking out. We have no service. So we stayed there, and we're like, we can't stay here forever. And I was like, we need to go. So we went around, like we tried to like kind of like crouch down so they couldn't see us, and we just booked it and ran. And thankfully they didn't follow us after that. So they must have like not seen us. Yeah, so that was the story. The next question is, am I dating anyone right now? So I'm not in a relationship. I'm talking to someone. By all means, it's not really serious. So the next question is, how old are you and when's your birthday? So my birthday is April 22nd, which I just turned 19 a few weeks ago. What are you studying in college? So I'm going to school and studying kinesiology because I want to be a physical therapist for like a professional football team or like hockey team. I think that would be really cool. So why did you choose to go to Arizona for school? I feel like that's almost like the first thing people ask me. It's like, oh, why did you choose to go like to ASU versus like staying in California, going to like colleges over there? And I feel like I was always like dependent on my parents. I need to experience like being independent, only like relying on myself. I just don't want to be like the person who like lives with their parents like for a long time. That's just not me. I want my own space, and I feel like I could work towards that. Like get my own job, do this. Like I have an internship pretty soon. It'll be a paid internship. Like just keep doing that, and I feel like I'll be good. So favorite memory of your freshman year? Mine probably has anything to do with my 3 closest friends that I first met when I was there. And we've literally been like so attached. Like we always hang out. Like I don't think there was a day like that went by that we didn't hang out. Like I love them so much. And we'd always go to like the games together. We'd go to parties. We just like do everything together, study, eat, everything. One of my favorites was when me and my friend, we went on a turnaround trip. So ASU plays USC one year, and then the next year it'll be UCLA. So this year it was UCLA, and so we went on a turnaround trip. We literally left at like I think 2 in the morning. We were on a bus. There's like freaking like 10 buses of students, and so we got there. We had a whole like tailgate party, which was really cool, and we got to watch the game, and we were literally like front row. So the second that the game ended, we just had to go back on the bus, and we went back to Arizona, which is pretty crazy because we all like on like 2-3 hours of sleep. But it's a really cool experience, and we're trying to do that like annually. So next year it'll be the USC game, and the following year, and like so on. Your favorite movie? My favorite movie is The Devil Wears Prada. I mean, I love Anne Hathaway. Like you get fashion, you get comedy, you get all that. I love it. Craziest moment in college? So I feel like the craziest thing that happened when I was away was, so me and my friend, we went to this one party. Like the cops showed up, and people were like so scared. Like people were like jumping the fence, going crazy, and they literally had like a chopper going above us, like shining a spotlight on. And I was like, what the hell? But yeah, so they did that so like people would stop like hopping the fence, and then like people were like freaking out inside. But then they finally like were letting us go out, and so we were going out, and we had to pass by like 20 cops like just like staring at us. But yeah, so that was the last question. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.